you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to an A.H.A.D moment, the calm before the storm. I'm your host, Minister A.H.A.D, and with me I have Holy Apostle Dan Saline, my partner in faith, Brother Frank Abdul Aziz, and Holy Queen Mother. They're not here today, but we wish A.H.A.D's peace and other blessings about them as well.
Yes.
Those in our audience, may A.H.A.D's peace and other blessings about your presence as well. You know, it's always a pleasure sitting here with the message of A.H.A.D, man. You know, because A.H.A.D gives you so much of his wisdom, you know, of his information, his knowledge, so you can experience it, come to know it. You know, A.H.A.D gives forth his message in so many degrees and in various ways, similitudes, like it says in the Quran, for example, to get his point across. You know, and the great blessing for those who are of this company, or part of this community, know the great mercy of A.H.A.D and the sending down of his words. You know, even the sweetest words. You know, for those who seeking to be on the path of the way. You know, if you're going off or an error, then they become the hardest words or the heaviest words now. You know, they come in a sweet manner. Allah says in the Quran something so beautifully that a thing which you think is bad for you, which is good for you. And a thing which is good for you is bad for you, but you don't know. So with that being said, we're going to go into this conversation concerning responsibility on the path of the way to A.H.A.D. You know, one great lesson A.H.A.D gives us here that A.H.A.D made us aware of when it said, he asked a question a couple of years ago, about a year or two ago. How many Islams are there? You know, and many of us in the community sat around thinking and pondering. You know. Some people went through the sects, some, Sunni, Shia, different schools of thought. And then A.H.A.D gave an answer that was so simple, but it was so profound. He said that as many people on the planet Earth as that many Islams, you know, the religion to the path of peace and the way of peace to it. I said, wow, you know. And for those hearing that, those who watch this program, A.H.A.D may bless you to understand in time the fullness of that simple phrase or that simple statement that was being made. As many people on this planet Earth as that many Islam, because each individual's journey to A.H.A.D is a long journey. That's one of the things A.H.A.D give us here. You know, we used to sing a little zikr or song of remembrance called it's a long journey. And your walk with A.H.A.D is only with you and A.H.A.D. My path cannot be yours cannot be mine, nor you can be anybody else in your family or your household, in your community, whatever. That walk with the Lord is for you alone and within how you come to it. So with that, you know, your responsibility on the path is first of all to your Lord and then to yourself. You know, because your walk, you know, and striving to surrender to A.H.A.D and the guidance that is sent down, you know, it becomes hard at first, but if the more you seek to surrender to A.H.A.D in the way of righteousness and truth, then A.H.A.D make that path easier. You know, not gonna say no stumbling blocks there, no obstacles, because they're there. The devil, A.H.A.D said, don't think you say will believe won't be tried. People see that in the Quran, and they don't know what the trials are. They think they have belief and faith and trust already. Oh, I believe that. But then Allah present a thing to them or a trial upon them. Most, and for any and all that I know of, are even aware that they're in the trial. They don't know what's on them. And then most people pray, say, Allah, don't take me through this way or to that way. But to come to A.H.A.D, you're going to have to face the devil, whether it's through his dupes or demons first, till you come to nearer. The nearer you get to A.H.A.D, then you're going to have to face the devil itself. And I'm talking about the devil outside, but your own personal devil within you will have to manifest himself because you're getting near to the Lord. So people hearing this or reading the holy books many times, they make a thing of their faith or their way of life only on the exterior. Never dealing with, like you said, we talked on the program earlier, with the more of the inner aspect or being of the path. You know, I hear many people of the religions, you know, especially of the Christian way, not against people specifically, but I hear many of them say, how you doing today, sister or brother? I'm blessed or highly favored. I'm like, okay, how do you know what a blessing is, you know? How do you know what occurs? Because Allah said, like I said before, though you think which is bad for you, it's good for you. So when we look at things, our judgment is off. You know, we try to see through our own eyes. When we need to beg the Lord to bless us to see through His eyes, so you can get a right assessment of situations and matters. You know. So with that, only possible or whatever. You know.
You know, I'm gonna start with what you said about this thing about the people saying they blessed and their favorite.
Okay.
You know, to think positive is like self-hypnosis.
Right.
You know, and there's a method, autosuggestion, that there's a science, the autosuggestion, where you suggest to yourself certain things, and if you believe it enough, then you draw those things unto you, and you more than likely become of those things. You understand? But you know, that's the science that is known on the right and the left. Okay. There's a way to use it on the left as well, that on the dark side, so to speak. And most of the people of religion that believe themselves to know the Lord,
right,
or to know Jesus, or to know Muhammad,
right,
or to know the angels, without ever being addressed by the Lord or Jesus or Muhammad or the angels, without ever being given the authorization to enter into the enlightenment of awareness of these beings.
Right.
That's an evil autosuggestion.
Okay.
You see, it leads people astray. And they believe because they say they believe, or because they say they blessed, because their ministers say you blessed for being in this church. I'm blessed. Right. I don't care what you say. I'm blessed. You could be cursed too. And for you to believe so strongly in what you're saying and you led astray, you're going to go further astray. And nobody's going to be able to help you. There's not going to be able to tap that mind of yours, you know, to straighten you out. You feel where I'm coming from? And that entails a person being taken and what they say is brainwashed.
Yeah.
And they could have other people lead them to wars and thinking that they fighting a religious war.
Right.
You know? And that's another thing. You know, these religious wars today.
Yeah.
How can there be a true religious war against the religion of the Lord Most High?
Right.
The one that it has chosen for everybody, if everybody's claiming the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody claiming to be right of the religion.
Right.
Everybody's claiming El in its various names. Everybody claiming the path with particles or parts of the pages of the book of life that they have, all from the same book.
Right.
The problem is everybody got that devil's work mixed in now with those books of purity, those pages of purity, which they have stained.
Yeah.
Just like with the Lord saying that, you know, in the book of Revelation, talk about the people of Catholicism who will be drinking from golden cups stained with the blood of saints. You know, what that is, when you drink from that goblet, that's like a celebration. That's like an honor. That's a, you know, here we gonna honor this.
Right.
Okay. Now, what do they really represent?
Yeah.
What does that cup represent? What is they honoring?
Right.
You know, claiming to be saints and claiming to be holy fathers and claiming, you understand, claiming to have divinity without the authorization of the Lord El. Right. And what they tell you to believe and you believe, you following suit in that. And because the Lord El is so merciful, it gives you so many chances and so many chances in terms of forgiveness that you think you're all right. Without really investigating for yourself. How many billions of people on the planet Earth rely upon another human being to get them to paradise? When the Lord El is the one in all.
Yeah.
The one to be sought by all. The one to be recognized by all. But you're going to rely on something else when you should rely on it alone? My duty is to point you to the path of the way. Not to carry you to paradise. Not to open up your understanding, because I have no control over your understanding. My duty to you is to give you the words that the Lord set down.
Right.
And it's your duty to beg the Lord to cause you to live in those words. Its words. It's the power of its words. Right. The guidance of its words. That's your duty. Right. Not for you to come to me and for me to have a extra baggage on my shoulder carrying you.
Right.
You know, it's every individual responsibility to get to the Lord itself. That's why we say for every individual there's an Islam.
Right.
There's a path of the way in the religion of the peace. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
The way to the peace. And why does the Lord call it Islam? Why is the peace so important? Because the peace represents your comfort, your safety, right, your security. Huh? You're being raised up in happiness, secured in His hands, in His being, in His circle of protection. That's the peace. Right. And that's what we as creatures, not just human beings, but creations of El. That's what we need. Every creation of El needs protection from El. Now, what do I mean when I say that? Needs protection from other aspects of El. Okay. The opposing aspects of El, that of your being, that will take you out.
One of the things that, you know, I used to express this here, you know, when I used to speak about at least two sides of everything, the positive or the negative, you know. But people in general, especially religion, you know, they believe they're clinging to, like you said, the positive with the self-affirmations, everything, but negating all that's on the left side or the negative side of a thing. Now, to become a whole person, I just expressing us on the path of the way, to become of the whole, you got to recognize, or I just got to guide, show you both sides. And then, they say this, it's a saying in the Quran. Jesus said as well, too. The way to the Lord is straight and narrow. And he said another way is broad, and the way to destruction. To the left. It's broad, beset by all kind of things. And the same God Jesus said in the Quran, which told Muhammad, take the middle way. You know, the path is straight and upward. And people believe they on the path because they make their 5 times a day, they fast Ramadan. Many of them now have made Hajj, the pilgrimage, the greatest pinnacle now. I made it there, so I know I'm going to paradise now. Negating, Allah says in the Quran, those who believe and do good work, right actions, putting forth. Allah said, don't let your good be followed by injury, you know, or by doing evil or whatever. And people look at that and say, well, like people, I've done the judging again. I've done nobody harm. I've done no evil. I made my 5 times. I'm good, you know. And you say that I just right as being all right, you know. And it's a very dangerous game that people play in religion, in the world in general, but I think between religion because they seeking to be of the Lord. That you gotta constantly monitor, you know. Can't become complacent or comfortable. You know, if things is going, you know, I know Allah said when we call upon Allah many times when the thing is about to fall on us, come down on us, then we're sincere or begging of A.H.A.D, Allah. But then when things is good, and Allah said that all praise is due to it, whether you recognize it's good or it's still all praise due regards to what you see. Because you ain't not a judge of a thing. And people today have made the mistake in looking at things and say, well, you know, I'm blessed or I'm favored by my Lord because I got this car, I got a nice house, I have money. So I have all the material things or trappings of this life to show my signs of being favored. Yeah. But the path to much though is giving up those things to come up with the real success or the true success in this life, which Jesus spoke about, which Muhammad taught, all the prophets speak about, that people are not getting fed that type of information so they can have a real balance in how to, you know, do a thing. I think about the Prophet Solomon and how many people of religion, they honor Prophet Solomon, you know, and I used to all praises due to it. But Solomon said, above all things, I seek wisdom, the Lord's guidance, above everything. Yeah. Because he sought that, then the Lord gave him all the things which he didn't have because he sought it first, the good of this world and the next world.
Abraham made a distinction when it said wisdom, and the Lord has taught me to tell the people that wisdom is divine guidance and nothing else. People think wisdom is smarts.
Yeah.
Wisdom is not smarts. Wisdom is not knowledge. Wisdom is not understanding. You don't have to understand a thing to be of the wise, to be wisely guided.
Right.
You feel me? The wisdom is of the wise. It's wise guidance. It's being brought into the dome, the circle of the wise. That's what wisdom is. Being brought in its protection.
Okay.
Huh?
Right.
And guided, you see. But, you made a statement about the trappings of this life, and that's exactly what it is, trappings. Things that trap you within and cause you to have a loss, And you also mentioned the path of the way, being on the right or the left, and I favor something that was said about Prophet Muhammad in his spiritual ascension. He turned neither to the right nor the left,
right.
And what that put me in mind of is that A.H.A.D, the Lord El Amen, always manifests, mostly manifests in threes.
Right, okay.
Everybody in the world know that.
Yeah.
It manifests in threes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the path of the way is manifested in threes. That's why Prophet Muhammad said that Allah said, take the middle way.
Right.
Alright? Because you could be astray on the right and the left.
Okay.
Huh? You could be too far to the right. And that's what some of these people do who make their Hajj, who make their prayers, and dress up a certain way and speak a certain way, and they whip you with their religion, and they want to curse you with their religion. You understand? Without having a balance. The balance is in the center. Mm-hmm. But you could be so far on the right that you astray, and so far on the left you astray. The wide expanse of being wrong is on both sides.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's why they say the middle course, that thin straight line, that's the middle course. Huh? There's very little that separates you from being right and wrong.
Right.
Just a degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's like heat and cold. It's separated by degrees.
Mm-hmm.
What's cold to you could be hot to me.
Right.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something to really consider.
Yeah.
When we look at the path of the way for every individual, and why Prophet Muhammad said why it was said for us to take the middle course, and why so many people was so confused about being on the right or the left. I mean, the Lord said goodly is the people that's on the right. On the right-hand side.
Right.
And woe to those on the left-hand side. It makes that clear. Mm-hmm. But it also said there's three kinds of people.
Yeah.
Those who are on the right, those who are on the left, and those who are nearest to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Three kinds. Mm-hmm. And those nearest to it is in its balance.
Right.
In the middle course. Mm-hmm. They don't take anything for granted. They don't look to others to lead them to Allah. They may look to others to point them to that way, but they don't put their faith and hope and trust and praise and worship in that individual. We're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to do that to the prophets.
Right.
We're only supposed to look for Allah's word, the power of His word, the spirit of His guidance, the opening of its way. That's why Fatiha is so important.
Yeah.
The opening of El. The opening of its understanding, the opening of its paradisical plane in your mind. It's just, that's why Islam is so beautiful, the universal religion of truth.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you call, regardless of what phase you in, if you at your proper place, even in Christianity, if you at your proper place at the proper time, it is the most beautiful thing. I will never deny what I received in Christianity in my proper place at the proper time, because it was truth.
Right.
Huh? And as I expanded and went forth, and the Lord said, come to this.
Right.
And I came to this and seen it was an extension of that.
Right.
Then I knew, knowing that if I stayed there, I would have went wrong.
Right. Okay.
And that's where so many people go wrong on the right. They don't know when to leave. They don't know what how their table is set.
Yeah.
If my cup runneth over, it's time for me to get a new cup.
Yeah.
Make a change. Do something.
Yeah.
But they think that because that's said in the Holy Scripture about when the prophet's cup runneth over, his knowledge is the knowledge of the Lord is too much for me.
Right.
They think that's the way it's supposed to be, standing there with their cup running over. That's a sloppy table.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's true, you know. And people, one of the great blessings for my A.H.A.D is that in giving these words of truth, is that you have to recognize, first of all, what is the path? You know?
Right.
And that's the first lesson you got to get, you know. And
Right.
But the messages we're pointing to, that it is the path. It is the opener, the beginning, the middle, and the end. So the Christians call it the author and finisher of their race. The Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and end. That's what A.H.A.D is calling us to seek it, to be guided through its way of life that is set down for us to follow it. And people separate, many times people in general separate their religious life from their work life, from their family life, when it's all encompassed in one. The way of life that is set down, that we call religion, is inclusive of all of those things. And people need to know that we have become compartmentalized in our minds. We have become compartmentalized in our daily life. Well, that's my religious day of worship. But every day of worship is of the Lord. That's my day I go to work. Then the day you at work, you still worship. You should be able to worship your Lord in spirit, mind, heart, and soul. As you working, you remembering and worshiping the Lord, glorifying, praising the Lord, and all what is given you of His gifts. Whether it's work, whether it's money, all those really belong to the Lord. See, people have to get the right, He said to bless you with the right understanding, how to truly become into the balance of things and say, okay, all is for me, as He tells us, as it says in the Quran, all is for me. The good, the bad, the ugly, all that is for me. Now, if you have the kind of mind that He blesses you with, then you can see you become more balanced in your approach to life. And the approach to your life will encompass all those things that you have compartmentalized. You know, we said that man is an individual, is inwardly divided, made of many beings, bodies of being within us. And they're all vying for the power to sit on the throne was created for easy to sit upon in our heart. But people fight that because they want to be the leader, the guide, you know, the one that set the trailblazer. If we step back and let our Lord guide us, it will show us these things, all these avenues that it wanted to take us into and guide us to, which is to it, really. You know, everybody want to go to heaven, is always saying, but nobody want to die. You know, a saying that's been out, an old saying that's been there for years. But the truth is, to die to everything except the Lord, to die to everything of this world, to truly live. That's what the prophet was speaking about all the time. You know.
You know, that's one of the reasons the job of a leader is so important. I don't care if you're a leader, a social leader, or religious leader, or what have you, but the job of a leader is so important. Do you know the best job, what the best job you could possibly have in this world?
In this world? I really say service, but that's just...
The best job that you could have in this world is being a complete servant of the Lord El, enlightening it like the prophets. The prophet's job is the best job you could possibly have. You know what the worst job is that you could possibly have in this world? Serving the devil as a prophet. The best job is the worst job.
Okay.
The best job you can have is being truly enlightened, truly chosen, truly of Allah. There's no job in the world that touched that. The worst job is to be one of those Joes that want to lead and claim to be the Lord's representative without authority. without true authority. Huh? That falls down to ministers, priests, and what have you. Jesus was a high priest. People don't want to recognize him for that. They talk about he's the son of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, he was one of the children of the Lord. El, and its righteous spirit.
Right.
But he wasn't the only begotten son. He wasn't begotten of the Lord.
Right.
The Lord did not beget. El did not beget.
Right.
You know? But the thing about it was he had the best job. That don't mean he had the easiest job. But if I got a job that's going to guarantee me paradise in the life of the eternal, what better job can I have? It's the results that count.
Right.
And the results of my job I'm concerned about is truly me. Oh, I want for my brothers what I want for myself. I pain for the people of the world and love them, but nothing do I pain for more than myself. I only know myself.
Right.
I experience my own pain.
Right.
I experience my own self. You see? So we got people out here claiming to be servants of the Lord on the right and spewing out that foolishness, and people relying on them and not relying on the Lord itself within.
Yeah.
Huh? They want to rely on what the servants, the advocates of the devil is presenting to them, because you can be a supporter of the devil and don't know it. You can be the devil's advocate and don't know it. That's what an advocate is, a supporter.
Right.
You could be that and really don't realize it. Doing your wrong, thinking you're doing good. You can't just come and be a representative of the Lord because you choose to.
Right.
I'm going to be a representative of the Lord. I'm going to ministry school and come out and start spewing your understanding.
Yeah.
No, it has always been a divine thing. And representatives of the Lord El has always been a divine anointment, a divine exaltation, a divine choosing. Now you got a prophet on every corner.
Yeah.
A priest on every corner. Yeah. You got as many prophets and priests as you got bars in the ghetto. Bars in churches.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, it's pathetic. Yeah. But the thing about it is the life hereafter, the eternal vision, the eternal awareness, the eternal mind, the eternal manifestation of your being after this elusive, eluding world. World of illusions. Right. You're going to suffer for real. You're going to suffer because of the real. Because of what's real to you. Now, people don't have to believe that. And many question it and don't believe it because most of these so-called representatives of the Lord are not divine. Yeah. They only imitate those who were divine. Right. They imitate them. And you better believe that the cloth is more important to some people than the words coming out of the mouth of that man. Yeah. Because if he don't look like a minister, from what they perceive to be that, then he's not that to them. I'm a messenger of Allah, whether I come out in bare feet or sneakers, or dress down, right, or dress up. They call it dress down today. Yeah. You know, everything done changed. When I was coming up, they said this guy dressed down like that. That means he was sharp. Right. Okay. Now it's dressed down. It means you in sneakers and jeans and you know. Yeah. It's crazy, Yeah. But you know, I mean, that's it's so important that we understand that each as individuals, man, that the Lord El is the one to be sought in our way, in the path of the way. Not the religion itself,
Right.
Not the fashions of the religion, not the congregation, not the school of thought, not recognition from the ministers or the imams or the priests or the preachers or whomever. Mm-hmm. They're not the ones to be reached. They're not to favor other people.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed?